Hey everyone, in today's video, I'm going to be going over my Black Knight theme build. So, starting off with the weapons, I went with the broadsword with the bleed affinity and the Ash of War Seppuku. The reasoning for the broadsword is because all of the other straight swords scale better with dex, and I need more strength levels to hold my shield, so it just made sense to grab something that could kill two birds with one stone. Also, the broadsword is just the best straight sword that you could place any Ashes of War on, which is just another nice bonus. The shield I'm using is the ECLIPSE Great Shield. It needs 32 strength to use it, hence the whole reason behind the broadsword. It's also got a 75 guard boost at max level, which is pretty nice, just allowing me to block really big hits without losing all of my stamina. And lastly, it comes with a passive buff on it that increases my resistance to status effects, so it's gonna take guys more hits on me before they can proc bleed, poison, or rot. It also fits in with the whole Black Knight theme of the build, so I didn't want to just pass it up. When it comes to the talismans, I'm using the Lord of Blood's Exultation that increases my damage by 20% for 20 seconds after a blood loss happens near me. Since I got 110 bleed buildup and an extra 30 from the Ash of War Seppuku, so actually 140 bleed buildup, I can proc a blood loss in 3 to 4 hits, so this buff is always going to be activated in big fights. And the Ash of War Seppuku also activates a talisman because it causes a blood loss on myself when I use it, so before I even get into a fight, I can get that buff going. The second talisman is the Great Jar's Arsenal to increase my max equip load. I may be using a sword and shield combo, but the shield weighs a lot, and combine that with some heavy armor, I didn't want to put too many points into endurance, so this saved me a pretty good amount of levels. The other one I'm using is the Great Shield Talisman, which decreases the amount of stamina that gets consumed when blocking hits, again making it easier to block really strong attacks without being guard broken. And the last one is the Curved Sword Talisman, so after I block a hit, I can follow up with a counter attack, and this is going to increase the counter attack's damage. Moving to the armor, I went with the Knight's Cavalry set to fit the aesthetic, but I used the white mask as the helmet, which has a passive on it that increases my damage by 10% after a blood loss happens near me for 20 seconds, so the same thing as the Lord of Blood's Exultation. You could use the Knight's Cavalry helmet to fit the look better, but I wanted a little bit more functionality. And with the Flask of Wondrous Physic, I used the Greenburst and Spill crystal tiers to increase my maximum stamina and stamina recovery speed for 3 minutes. This is going to help out when it comes to blocking big attacks that consume a lot of stamina, and also just being able to roll more and attack more. Finally, with the stats, I grabbed 40 Vigor, which honestly I could have grabbed more of. I don't know why I put any points into Mind when we don't need that at all, so don't level up Mind at all. 19 Endurance to be able to fast roll, 80 Strength since the sword scales nicely with Strength, and another thing about the sword is when you come up against guys that are completely immune to bleed, you can just switch it to the Heavy affinity to give it a better scaling with Strength and more physical damage. I got 10 Dex for the minimum requirements to use the broadsword, and then I didn't touch Faith or Intelligence since we don't need it, and lastly 50 Arcane to increase the bleed buildup that's on the sword. I'd focus more into leveling up Strength first to be able to use the sword and shield, and also to increase the sword's physical damage, and then start to focus more into Arcane later on when you can get the Ash of War Seppuku or the Black Wet Blade to give you the option to place the bleed affinity on weapons. Now I'm just going to show you guys how the build holds up against all of the main bosses in New Game Plus.
My strength befits same crown.